Right? Miriam has been on a journey, which I'm sure she'll share with us in a few minutes, but she's very inspiring because she not only went on a journey, she kept her journey up for years and years and years. Lots of us like to go on journeys. How many of us can stay on this journey? So yes, she is one of our amazing Moms of Friendship Circle, and her Zev is our hero. I think most of us know Zev. He is like super, super, super handsome, smiley, heart of gold. You never see a man with a bigger heart, that's for sure. And this is due to his mom, Miriam. So Miriam, not only are you a health guru, but you are a mom of a hero Superman. So I think we're going to be ready to start in 30 seconds. And Miriam is going to be teaching us about staying on this healthy journey. Okay, Miriam, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Chaya Rachel. And I want to thank everybody for everything they did to make this possible. I am a Zoom veteran. I have had a pro Zoom account since 2013 relating to my coaching practice. So Zoom is it's my third language. And now it's all exciting because I've been using it with my clients since 2013, and now it's so exciting. I don't have to teach anybody how to get on. So it's really been a shift. And if anybody needs lessons in Zoom, contact Zev Khan, because he's a total ninja on this whole thing. Okay. So I'm going to encourage you all, because this was supposed to be interactive. And then when I decided that I can give you much more contact with a PowerPoint and photos than I could while trying to cook in the kitchen, I did start to prep a PowerPoint. And then last Monday, the baby was born. Thank God, Baruch Hashem, we're very, very blessed. He's very sweet. His 15-month-old sister is a crack up. And so I took a shift. And I do want to talk about two things today in particular, and I'm going to encourage you, and I'm going to say it now and I'm going to say it again later. And if somebody can put my email address or my Instagram handle or my Facebook page in the chat, and if you send me an email, a Facebook message, or an Instagram DM, I will, within a week or so, email you the PDF of the photos that I prepared for this talk, which obviously I don't have strong enough Wi-Fi to show a presentation. So that's my gift for not being able to do this with the PowerPoint. So miriamkhan@gmail.com, Miriam Khan Health on Instagram, and you could search me. I'm very easily found as Miriam Khan on Facebook. So it's miriamkhan@gmail.com, and I'll repeat it at the end because it would be my honor to gift you the photographs that I prepared. They're nothing great. You've probably seen them in my Facebook or Instagram stories, but I want to talk about two things. Two words that came to mind when I realized, as I was doing a lot of arrangements to get to and from Cleveland with my Zev arrangements, which, you know, and more importantly in COVID life, because Cleveland is a quarantine state. So by Cleveland being a quarantine state, we had to be in Cleveland less than 24 hours so we don't have to quarantine when we get back. And it took a few days to figure that out, but we did. So the two words that I want to share with you are consistency, number one, and flexibility. So first we're going to talk about the flexibility, and then I'm going to talk to you about the consistency. So when we talk about a health journey, and hi Rachel, thank you for reminding me that it's about to be 9 years that I became a health coach, 9 years at the end of this month. And actually the beginning of September, sorry, I forgot where we were in the month, that I became a health coach, having no clue that I was going to shift from being an RN caring for the sick to helping people really work on and create health. I had no idea. So I'm a full-time health coach for about 8 years. And the blessing in that is that it keeps me accountable. The other blessing in that is that it keeps me learning and finding new ways to help people better. And a lot of the inspiration that I share with, I'm going to share with you and I share with people every single day, is related to the inspiration that I get from the people that I serve and work with. Okay, so what do I mean by flexibility? And what do I mean by consistency? So flexibility requires, and for those of you, if any of you, and many of you on this line, I know either have someone with special needs in their life or are caring for somebody with special needs or have a special needs child. And you quickly learn early into that game although it is a completely different game than you thought you were going to play in life, that flexibility is going to be the key. And things from knowing that I was always prepared for Shabbos food on Thursdays because I never knew what was going to happen on Friday. And ironically, took a while, but a lot of Zev's hospitalizations started on Fridays. To this day, that still occurs. But so one of the things is flexibility, and it's about not being so rigid. And I work with people, and yes, when you're on a weight loss journey, and if you need to lose weight, I really encourage you to reach out to me, not out of any obligation, just because a quick conversation, whether you decide to be coached by me or not, is still a worthwhile conversation. You'll learn a little bit about yourself, and you will get some pointers and tips specific to you. So I really do encourage you to reach out to me by any way you wish: email, Facebook, Instagram, smoke signal, anything that works for you, because my passion is really to help people embrace some health changes, even if they're not willing to really do a complete 360. I lost 40 pounds 9 years ago, which I didn't even know. I'm a nurse and I knew BMIs. I didn't know I had 40 pounds to lose, but I could tell you once I lost the 40 pounds, I had a mind shift. And it turned from being, how do I lose weight? How do I lose weight? How do I lose weight? To how do I work on my health? And I encourage you to write that down if you have any plans to take notes. It's not about losing weight and being skinny and being a certain size and wearing a certain dress size or whatever, but it is about working on your health. And it is a constant thing, and it requires flexibility. I'm on a road trip. Yeah, I have a bag full of healthy snacks, but we had a brisk dinner last night, and there was cheesecake and a couple of other things. And while I had what I had there, the rest of my road trip is really kind of focused on being healthy and feeling my best, both while I'm traveling and when I return. So much so that when my daughter started to pack up cookies for me because she felt bad I was leaving last night, I'm like, no, I don't eat like that on the road. So it was just, it's about learning flexibility, and it's about not the I'm never having that, although there are certain things on my never list. Reach out to me and I'll tell you what they are in private. But for the most part, there are things that you will have occasionally. And you will occasionally indulge, and for me, it's cheesecake if it's there. And again, not when I was in my weight loss, because when I was in my weight loss, the consistency of staying in that weight loss mode for my body and mind was the key. It's a very short amount of time in the scheme of the 9 years that I've been working on my health. Those 4.5, 5 months while I was learning to transition back from real restricted precision-based eating to eating regular life, that consistency. Now, we didn't, I'm going to ask you, like, blink at me. I'm looking at some of you. Blink if you think that you got unhealthy because you had an occasional piece of pizza or a cheesecake. It's because, right, and I see the heads going, it's because we occasionally ate salad and grilled chicken and thought that was going to get us to our healthy state. Really? Like, is that how we're thinking? But if you're consistently, and I'm going to keep throwing these two words around because these are the words that I want you to take away. And then there's a third word I'm going to introduce at the end, which is where you're going to want my PowerPoint sent to you on email, because it's not with me here. It's actually with me here in a million forms, but not practical for showing. I travel with a lot of electronics. But you're going to hear those words, flexibility, and flexibility is what's required for your ongoing health, okay? Consistency is also required for both your health journey if you want to lose weight, but it's also required for your long-term everything. Everything that we do requires consistency. The more we daven, the more we daven. The more we think about Hashem, the more we think about Hashem. The more grateful we are, the more focused we are on being grateful, the more grateful we are. It's a fact. And maybe my next talk should be about journaling, because there it is, travel with that too. That has been a very big shift in my life as it relates to both my health journey in my physical health and my mental health. Back to the consistency and flexibility. And I want, when you are in weight loss, when you are I'm going to go with treating a disease, whether you have, forgive me, whether you are dealing with chronic disease, whether you are dealing with something acute, whether you have an infection, you need to consistently take your medication and follow the treatment regimen that your doctor prescribed, right? And I see the nods. Thank you, Joni. And it's the same thing with working on your health. If weight loss is something that is, well, that you think about and you would like to make a priority, the only way to really be successful at it is to be consistent. But forget the only way to be successful. It's the easiest road to get there. So I was actually having a conversation with a client on the way here, on the way to, I'm in somewhere, Pennsylvania, between Cleveland and New York. And she said, well, she's planning on her anniversary dinner. It's her first anniversary next week. She put on a lot of weight between her first year of marriage and her COVID life. And she's kind of wondering, well, how can I indulge next week at my anniversary dinner in a restaurant? And we talked about it. That's the beauty of what I do, because we talked about her best options, which actually, I won't go into the details because this is what I do, and you know, you're free to reach out, but that her best options for what she's going to do next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, start today. Because the more consistent she is between now and then, and and we talked about what she plans on indulging in between now and then, we have a whole plan set up for her. So that was really like, that was very, I love that. That's the jam. That's my ninja skill at the moment, really helping people live their life. But again, so if you want to lose weight, you want to treat a disease, you want to pass a course in college, you want to, I'm going to go back to Shoshana's yoga practice, you want to benefit from yoga practice, consistency is going to be the key. And for most of us, when we are, again, nod or blink if you know what I'm talking about, when you're in a rhythm with something, it goes much easier. And in the scheme of our life, we have a very, Baruch Hashem, we have a long life. I just turned 59. I say it and I like, wow, yes. And interesting, I started my weight loss / became my health journey 9 years ago, the month before I turned 50. It was a very difficult year for me. It was extraordinarily difficult in a million different ways. And it would have been the last thing that I would have expected out of myself was staying on track on that birthday. And you know what? Looking back, it was a gift that I gave myself for my 50th birthday 9 years ago. I had no grandchildren. I had just started having a little bit of vision as to what my future was going to be, but I had no idea that it would turn into this flexible life where I could, if I could make the arrangements, jump over to Cleveland without being bound by the things that bound me before. So again, sometimes when you, and Chai Rachel, you nailed it with the quote from the Rambam, from the Torah and the Rambam's point of view. Are we recorded? Because I don't know that I want to be remembered of saying this, but I do want to say that it pains me. I'm actually going to say it. And if it's recorded, go for it. I can't tell from the phone if it is. I am going to say that it hurts me and puzzles me tremendously when I see an important Rav, and some of you know what I'm about to say, and I've seen it, and I've been at tables with them, and I've been at a table with a very chashuv Rav who had gastric bypass surgery that had to leave the table to go to the bathroom to vomit every couple of bites of food. I kid you not. But it hurts and it pains me when I see Gedolim overweight. And some of them are overweight with a cigarette, although that's thankfully less prevalent now than it used to be, but it's still a thing. So yeah, back to my consistency and flexibility, and then my hot tips for you. So to get good results, you want to be consistent. But I go out to eat and I hear that I've heard it all. 9 years, I've impacted over 10,000, probably by now closer to 12,000 people between the people that I work with personally, plus the coaches that I train. I hear it all the time, but I'm going out to eat with my friends, but I'm doing this. The more consistent you are when you work on whatever it is we're talking about health, your meditation practice, your Torah learning, your davening, your Tehillim saying, if you're a Tehillim person. The more consistent you are, the easier it is. Now I want to talk back about the flexibility. And then we're going to talk about my third word for today. And we're going to finish with a whole bunch of tips. So if I'm giving you time to grab a piece of paper. Some of these tips are going to come through in the PowerPoint that I will share with you. But flexibility in knowing, okay, like I'm coming home today. I don't know what time I'm going to get home because I'm going to hit New Jersey traffic, but I already know what I'm having for dinner tonight. And really what I'm having is not important. It's that I know what I'm having. And it is with me here in case it comes to that, because it might. Excuse me, I drink in sips because you know why. I don't drink in the guzzling that I usually do, but water intake is key. So I'm going to get ready for your planning. So, and now we're going to go from my flexibility. It's a road trip and I know what I do, but I have a whole arsenal. I basically have a whole file running in here of like my 3 main meals that, you know, most of you know, Zev is on a highly specialized diet. So my daily cooking or meal planning does not include him. I cook for him once every couple of weeks. Baruch Hashem, I have help helping me puree it, but which thankfully that's back in place because, you know, COVID in the beginning. But I have to know what I'm going to eat because there are many, 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 many days where I just don't feel like preparing anything. I don't feel like pulling anything out. In the morning, I may not have felt, I pulled out a piece of fish. Ugh, I don't feel like fish. I'd rather, okay. But you have an arsenal of things that you know are easy to prepare, quick to prepare, painless to prepare, and you always have the ingredients in the house. So if that interests you, then again, that was the gist of what I was going to share on PowerPoint. So I want to give you like my top those. So I'm going to be straight with me whenever I travel, and Baruch Hashem, you know, I don't take necessarily food when I travel to Israel, whenever that may next be. But when I've been to Cleveland a bunch of times and I travel with certain things, my things that I travel with are, and these are things that I've learned to just, this is what I like and this works for me. I travel with packaged turkey breast, which if it wasn't in a cooler bag, I would take it out and show you. I like the real thin one. And a package is either 6 or 7 ounces, which I could eat the whole thing. It's really a perfect dinner. And then I travel with vegetables. For me, it's the vegetables that Miriam Khan travels with. Yours might be different, but the ones that I travel with, whether I'm flying to an event in a hotel and I have to fend for myself for 2 meals, there are 2 that I travel with, because actually 3, but 2 mainly that I travel because they work with me. If I had time and if I was on my computer, I would have you guess what they are and then give away something, but I can't. So my top 3 are, number 1, grape tomatoes, because they travel really well. Really well in the cellophane. I rinse them, I leave them in there, I put a paper towel on top in case one gets squishy, and they're perfect. They travel really well. And I like it with turkey or cottage cheese, if cottage cheese or farmer cheese travels well too. Hot tip, if you're going on a road trip, farmer cheese, Joni, you get ready, I'm gonna blow your mind, okay? It freezes incredibly well. And when it's defrosted, you pretty much can't tell that it was frozen, and it makes a great ice pack. So that's one of my farmer cheeses. It was genius. But this wasn't a farmer cheese type of trip. This was a turkey breast. I ate it while I drove on, when did I drive? Sunday. So, you know, so great tomatoes. My number 2, I like celery, so celery works for me, but that's also a great vegetable. Wrap your turkey around it and you've got a little party. And I happen to really enjoy celery. It takes a while to eat. I like the salty kind of flavor. I cut it so that it's manageable. And if you know Danielle Renoff of Peas, Love, and Carrots, she does teach people to use a peeler at the bottom of the celery to get the strings away. Big hot tip. I don't bother. I don't mind the strings, but it's a good tip. And then my third vegetable, because I like them, may not work for you. Trader Joe's sells the petite green beans, which are also very good raw and travel exceptionally well. So those are my travel tips, but it's not even what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what I'm talking about next. How do I prepare food? Basically, most of the time, food for one. And for some of you that feed large families, you know who you are. You may, if you want to eat healthy, you may in fact have to prepare food for one to stick to health. So for me, 99% of the time, I do one of, I'm going to say almost 100% of the time, certainly now with is zero entertaining. I don't eat out a lot with our new reality, but um, it's either what I call, and I didn't even know it was a thing, I've been doing it for years, it's called sheet pan cooking. And number two is what I do in a frying pan. I'll explain. So sheet pan is you take a baking sheet, kind of like they actually sell things called sheet pans, but I've been using for years the broiler tray that came with my two ovens, line it with foil, and then if I'm feeling ultra healthy and I feel like grabbing the parchment paper, it is much healthier to eat off of parchment paper than foil, but I hate washing the thing underneath. So it's always foil and very often parchment paper, most of the time just right on the foil, because I also do what I call quick cooking. So I spray it with my jam right now, because it's a little bit healthier, is one of those yellow, again, sorry, no visual aid in the car, one of those yellow EVOO bottles, Evo bottles. And I put avocado oil in. Avocado oil is a fabulously healthy oil and heats much better than olive oil. If you're going to do high heat, olive oil, if you've ever put olive oil in a frying pan and left it in there too long, you've all done it. We've all done it. It's a little not so good. But avocado oil is a little bit milder. It has a different heat point. Don't ask me the numbers, but so I'll use the avocado oil, spray out the pan. And then pretty much, honest to goodness, no matter what I'm eating, it could be fish, it could be chicken breast, it could be chicken pargio, it could be chicken on the bone, it could be a small steak, it could be flounder, salmon, halibut, what's my other favorite fish? Branzino, big favorite of mine. Whoa, love it. Tilapia fillets, whatever it is, the pan is sprayed. And again, this is, I've made it for one, I've made it for two, if I'm going to do it for Shabbos, if I'm doing it for another day, if I know I'm having a busy week. So on one side of the pan, I slap down my protein, my meat, chicken or fish, basically. Turkey, could be a turkey thigh. I'll do that, or a turkey breast if you can get that, which is more than one meal. And I'm one person. I don't really have to eat leftovers. I don't mind throwing this in the oven every day. And then on the other side of the pan is whatever vegetable, if I'm not having salad that day, that I would roast. The list is pretty much anything from, I'm probably going to go in order of my most favorites. You ready? Baby Bella mushrooms. Whoops, call was coming in. I forgot to put on Do Not Disturb. Sorry. Baby Bella mushrooms, which I love. Cut them in half, throw them on the tray. We'll talk about what to do with them. My other favorite is, again, back to Trader Joe's for their baby zucchini. Cut in half the long way, cut side down. Again, there will be pictures of all this in that PowerPoint, miriamkhan@gmail.com, in a week or two. So those are like of my favorite vegetables, but not to be overshadowed by some of the other things. Asparagus, green beans, fresh or frozen, broccoli, cauliflower. I do love, love, love mini peppers, the little colored mini peppers. Love them. And then I did learn, and I actually ran this as a poll on Facebook. I have two vegetables that when I wasn't shopping at the beginning of COVID life, I learned a lot about eating at the beginning of COVID when I couldn't leave the house because I wasn't taking Zev out into the world. And nobody was delivering groceries because that was a whole other ridiculousness at the beginning. But there were two vegetables that I kept in the house at all times because they last a very long time and they're very versatile. So I'm going to give you those two. And then I'm going to tell you why. So one is we're back to celery again. And then the other vegetable, which I couldn't believe a lot of people didn't guess, it's a favorite vegetable because it's so versatile, and that's cabbage. So cabbage can be, now we're going back to the roasting tray, slices or shreds or discs or quarters. And then I'm going to talk about, because we're going to prepare all the vegetables the same way. They're just the way I do it, it's always on the left side of the baking tray for no reason. But the meat, chicken, or fish is always on the right. The vegetable is always on the left. but I could pretty much eat cabbage every day a different way and not be tired of it. And then the other vegetables, which I did not yet mention, and these are very noteworthy, are the less carbonated squashes. I'm sorry, carbohydrates, less glycemic squashes, which are my top three are um, kabocha, look it up, spaghetti squash, and something called delicata squash, which are really, 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 really incredibly amazing tasting, roast beautifully. And I am getting close to time, but the way that I prepare them, because I really keep things crazy simple, I poke holes in any of that, microwave it for like 3 minutes, and then turn it in another 3 minutes, forget about it on the counter, cut it in half when it's cool, scoop out the junk, and then take it from there. We're going to add a million different ways to prepare it, but I'm back to putting it back on the left side of my tray, and then I'll do another spray of my avocado oil, and then come the seasonings. And I know, like, what does she season it with? It's whatever my seasoning of choice for that day is. Here's some of my favorites. And again, really depends on the mood. And I go through phases. One of my big favorites is again, we're back in Trader Joe's, guys. You're all going to be there later. If you're going, I'll give you my list. One is onion salt. I love their onion salt. First of all, it's pretty. It has all the every kind of onion is somehow in that little jar. The other one is the umami spice, which I do love also. It has the mushroomy flavor, which has MSG powers in a much healthier way. It becomes a flavor enhancer. Another one, which I tend to use on fish more than anything else, is the Trader Joe's chili lime. But remember, I'm keeping it simple, and I'm really flexible because I don't want to deal with too much. And I'm sprinkling the same seasoning on my vegetables as on my protein 99% of the time. Maybe, a few times I might do something different. And then, of course, there's the Perec spices, the shawarma, Jerusalem grill. There's always that theme, although I haven't done that in a while, but we've been talking about it. And then there's also your standard, the stuff that your family loves, whether it's pink salt, sea salt, a little pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, basil, whatever your family seasonings are. We're a very salty, soy saucy family. But if you're not, and you want a marinade, and again, Joni, nod if this is working instead of being in my kitchen. But, and if you want a marinade, there are a couple of things. So one, you can use a diluted juice, but I don't really keep juice in the house because I'm very not a fan of drinking calories at all. It's not something that I'm a fan of, except for red wine on Friday night. It's just not something that it boggles my mind. I'd much rather eat my calories. So diluted juice, if you want something sweet, or here's a really good one, and that's get a really good flavor herbal tea bag that you like. Make a very strong tea essence, and I mean strong, like a half a cup of boiling water. Joni, we're speaking. We should talk later. We're talking a half a cup of boiling water to 2 tea bags. The ones that work great are there's a Celestial Seasonings makes an orange Bengali, I think. It's amazing on chicken and vegetables. Joni's the lemon, any of the cranberry, pomegranate, any of that makes an incredible marinade with healthy, whatever the tea, the flavonols that are in tea and all the flavonoids and all the things that tea is good for. And you can add seasoning to that. The other thing, which is a little less healthy but works great if you're look, a lot of us didn't shift everything and are still shifting. The duck sauce people, it's okay. The jelly, grape jelly, I feel you. I really do feel you. But a great substitute for that is when you hit the Walden Farms aisle. And I'm not at all a fan of anything Walden Farms except for the pancake syrup is amazing. But other than the pancake syrup, it is just not a product that I love except as a marinade. The Asian vinaigrette, the raspberry vinaigrette, there's a Dijon vinaigrette, even the Italian dressing, which is really terrible on salad. I think they're all but they cook up great. So that was, so again, I'm going to end with this. We're getting to time, but so that's one way to cook. Now, some of you don't turn on your ovens in the summer. It's too hot. It's too much of a pachka. Here's way number two. And this is what I do mainly for dairy. And my other go-to, remember one of my go-tos was the turkey breast, which I eat on the road, but I also eat it at home if I'm in a real pinch and I want meat and I'm not cooking, or I'm coming in at 6 p.m. from my grandson's bris, perhaps. So plan B is grab your frying pan. And there are a lot of pictures of this already in the PDF that I created for you guys. Grab your frying pan and saute up a vegetable that you like. My top vegetables for this, we're back to, I love mushrooms. I still love zucchini. I might use the baby zucchini. I might just cut into quarters and little triangles, the regular zucchini. Eggplant is good for this. Certainly leeks, onions, scallions, cut up peppers. I don't know that I would use the whole peppers for this. Cut up asparagus, tomatoes, or your vegetable that you eat, let's just say. Spaghetti squash is also great for this, as is riced cauliflower. Oh, Joni, you made my day. Joni, take a picture of it, send it to me, and I will throw it into my PDF that I'm sending out. I love it. Anyway, saute that up in a nice big frying pan until it is at the desired, and by frying pan, I mean frying pan nonstick sprayed with either your cooking spray or your avocado oil, my preference. Also, by the way, I did not know this until I treated myself to new frying pans like a year ago. Do you know, this is like hot tip, fun fact, you should not spray any of those aerosol cans into your nonstick pans. It ruins them. I did not know that, but it is truth. I've heard it in a million different places, including from whatever brand fancy frying pans I bought a couple of years ago. So that's how I started with those Evo orange bottles, which, pretend I'm holding it up. I will try to remember to include it in the PowerPoint, with avocado oil or olive oil. So then you spray down, you do your vegetables. And then for this, my choice would be either and of course, cabbage works beautifully in here, either fish or eggs. This is a version of shakshuka. And what I'm going to say is shakshuka is probably one of the best fast food, easy, quick to prepare meals that is like known to man. So this is a version. This is basically taken, it's not original. Almost nothing. Oh, I'll get to that, Dorothy. Almost nothing about what I've said is original. It's just been trial and practice and learning, and mainly learning from my clients. But cook up your vegetables to their desired level of doneness that you like. Push them all to the side, leaving a hole in the middle. Okay. And you can either then drop your fish in there and cook your fish, or you can drop 2 eggs, a couple of egg whites, just egg whites and cheese. And there is your one dish flash in the pan. Healthy, easy. The key to staying healthy is having a plan, knowing it. And sometimes that plan is just knowing what the plan is when there's no plan. So somebody asked about the air fryer. So the air fryer is actually a phenomenal tool. My daughter, who just had the baby, loves hers. It's not something that I've ever bothered with, because I pretty much achieve most of that by throwing everything on a sheet pan with a little bit of cooking spray and roasting it to my desired level of doneness. I'm just not in the market for another appliance. But if I was, that would be the appliance that I buy. So thank you for asking that. So we have a couple of minutes left. If you have questions, I will look in the chat. I'm going to encourage you again. What I do, I'm going to do that, Hi Rachel. What I do as a coach is I partner with people. I work with you for your desired outcome. I help you identify things in your immediate world that can be changed easily. Sometimes you have a more drastic, urgent need to take off weight. I did not realize that. Originally, it was just for a wedding, but then I started to realize how unhealthy I was at 5 feet tall, carrying around 40 pounds. And with those 40 pounds came form medications that I no longer take. So, hi Rachel, so it did require consistency, but now I have all that. So let me go to the chat. Hang on, a little hard to see. Okay. So what is a healthy go-to snack between meals? I love that. So, and I even, oh, I can't reach it because my snacks are in the back. Um, my favorite things are things that are a pair of protein and carbohydrate. So I am rarely, even a fruit is amazing, but a fruit absorbs better in your bloodstream, especially if you're overweight or you have sugar issues or if you have a tendency towards your sugar rushing around. But having your fruit with a bit of cheese or a couple of nuts will slow down the sugar punch that goes into your bloodstream, because fruit, for example, it's a healthy carb and it's got fiber and vitamins and minerals. Don't ever let me tell you that it's not healthy. But the people that need to lose weight and are drinking heavily fruited smoothies, we should talk. We should talk, because it's really a recipe for stuff that's not good. But take out some of that fruit, add to that instead, and chai rachel, there you go. Greek yogurt is amazing. I have in my car, and I learned what I need to do for myself. I always have 100-calorie packs of 2 kinds of almonds in my house. The on-the-go, lightly salted, it's a 100-calorie pack. Even if I have 2 a day, I'm good in my healthy living, maybe not in my weight loss, depends on what else. And then they have cocoa-covered almonds, just like that. I get them on Amazon in a beautiful box, beautifully packaged. They're mini little. Yeah, my snack bag is behind me. It should really be much closer. But anything else I can help with, again, I really encourage you, reach out. I don't push anybody to work with me. I only want to work with people who are really ready to run and fight for their health, but I will give you healthy tips along the way. That's a good one. So, that is chai rachel. Okay. That word aloud, just, do we have another 40 minutes? Just on that word aloud, because everything is allowed. It is your choice. It is your decision. But what I will say is that the healthier you want to be, the less carbs you will eat in life. Most of us, and I'm looking around, and I know many, many, many of you, I am looking. I know a lot of you. Many of you are around my age. One of you has diabetes, I believe. I'm looking at the list. Many of you are older than me. The older we are, the worse we tolerate carbs. And by carbs, I mean even the healthy ones, the brown rice, the buckwheat, the bulgur, the kasha, all those healthy, amazing things. But if you're on a healthy track and you've worked with somebody and you know about how many calories will keep you in your, let's call it a healthy zone, and you factor in, yesterday, here we go. Yesterday, my daughter was making me lunch. I had just arrived at her house and she was making me lunch. So, and we knew that the bris was going to be, who knows what, and including cheesecake, which, cheesecake. But so she made me an egg and she goes, do you want toast? I go, I don't want toast, but how about a rice cake? Again, because I know the caloric value of a slice of toast versus a rice cake. And it's because I've been doing this and I've been helping people do this for so many years that in my mind, I'm allowed to have anything I want. Chai rachel, we are all allowed to have everything you want, but it's what kind of impact do you want it to have on your body? When you go into a store and you look at the shelves, and I know that if you're not in a kosher supermarket, between reading the kosher shelves and reading the nutrition labels, you may never get out. But when you pick up a product and you look at the nutrition label and you see what the cost, I'm calling it cost, because I call free food something totally, some people call free food they didn't pay for. I call free food that I didn't have to prepare. So when you're taking a look at the value of a serving of food, only you can decide if it's worth it to you. And that's why all of it is allowed. And again, miriamkhan@gmail.com. This is because of a simcha. It turned out to be a quick talk from my car, which I only thought for 1 second about saying I couldn't do it. And then I'm like, what the heck? I wanted to share. And I'm thrilled that I did. But again, the PowerPoint is sitting in my laptop right next to me. Not quite done, but it will be converted into an emailable PDF within a week or two. Send me an email, miriamkhan@gmail.com. reach out to me, Miriam Khan Health on Instagram, or search me on Facebook. I am incredibly easy to find. I will take your name and let me know if you want to be added to my free, totally free weekly healthy newsletter as well. That's also a gift. And if you're concerned, confused, don't know where to go with how to work on your health, reach out. I promise you, I'm easy to talk to. It's all about you. You will walk away with tips and things that you can do to work on your health starting from the moment we speak. So I wish everybody a great day. I hope you found it helpful. Again, because I'm in the position that I'm in right now, I have probably about, Mommy, if you're listening, I have about 4 to 5 hours more till I get home, depending on what happens in New Jersey traffic. But I'm excited that I was able to share. Reach out, no obligation. Joni, everybody who participated in this, a big yasher koach for everything that you do and everything that you did to make this possible.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Miriam. You did a great job.
Thank you. Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
Miriam, I remember that last time you were saying to flush your body with lots of water. I didn't want you to leave before you said that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, because I didn't do my usual top tips.
Right, I know.
Yeah. So water is the key to life. You know that. Like, you know that. Whether you want to participate in it or not, you all know it. We do encourage. I actually refused to take on a client because she refused to drink. All I drink is 1 can of Diet Coke a day, and I will not drink anything else. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure that this is going to work out for us. So I do start my day. First thing in my body is 12 ounces of a little bit of lemon in cold water. I'm not a hot water in the morning. That's before I have my coffee. Coffee is a whole other PowerPoint. But yes, you want to be drinking water. You want to be drinking it throughout the day, but you want to keep it simple. I teach eating small meals 6 times a day, right? So if you're going to get in what's recommended by the government currently, which is about 64 ounces of water, 8/8, go in your kitchen right now, everybody, find a 12-ounce glass. And all you have to do is, if you're eating 6 times a day, down a 12-ounce glass. I have 3 of these. This is 24 ounces. There are 2 in my car. This one is empty. And I also have extra water in my car. But 12 ounces 6 times a day, and you're covered. For those that weigh more, if you weigh more than 200 pounds, or if you're in the 180 to 200, I would encourage at least 80 ounces of water. For sure, there is a concept of half your body weight in ounces of water up to 100 per day, never more than 100. But if you're not a water drinker, I do encourage at least the 64. What counts as water besides water? Really only 2 things. Seltzer, but be careful with seltzer, because for women, the carbon dioxide can interfere with, if you have a lot of it, which some people I know do, can interfere with calcium absorption. Did you know that? And the only other thing, Joni, get ready to smile, that can count towards your water intake is plain herbal tea. Not Snapple or bottled tea, Nestea tea, but an herbal tea bag with 0 caffeine, and some of them do have trace calories, the zeros. So if you're not a water drinker in the morning, take an herbal tea bag, throw it in your 24-ounce water cup, and you have a nice little beverage.
And what about infusing your water with like strawberries or cucumbers?
Also amazing.
Okay,
amazing.
Awesome.
That is amazing. Always amazing. Whatever it takes. I don't want to say whatever it takes to get you to drink the water, because then you start putting in the infusers that have the artificial sweeteners and trace of carbs, which is a whole other conversation. But Pesach, when I didn't have the nerve to ask anybody to buy me seltzer bottles, because remember, I wasn't going shopping for my own things, I did buy a Soda Stream. And how did I make my favorite seltzer on Pesach? You ready? I'll leave you with this. I did the Soda Stream. What is that called? I carbonated the water, and then I dropped, I forgot the brand, wild berry. Pesach was the Wisatsky, but not on Pesach. It was a wild berry tea. Right after I carbonated it, I dropped an herbal flavorful tea bag into my seltzer, left it overnight. It was amazing. So
you are amazing, Miriam. Thank you.
I have a question, but maybe I should just email you. It's a little personnel, but
Email me or call me, Joni.
Amazing.
I
Easy to
do
find.
I eat fruit, I eat vegetable. I would rather, I have a salad in my refrigerator at all times because I like to prepare it once a day and then I go and take it. I'd rather have a salad than a piece of cake. I am a
Wow.
milk
You're good,
drinker
Joni.
because of my osteoporosis, but then
Yes.
I also have stomach problems. So what happens when you go to one doctor, an endocrinologist tells you have to have milk products and vegetables, and then my other doctor, my gastroenterologist, says no, I cannot have those. But
Okay.
that's
Oh,
surprising.
Joni, whoa, you just hit something really good. I don't drink milk right now because I prefer to have the lower carbs in cashew milk. Okay, but listen to me. My
In what?
endocrinologist, Stuart Wienerman,
Cashew milk.
cashew milk, it's in every
Yes.
store. Silk cashew milk, it's about 25 calories a cup.
Yes.
1 or 2 grams. One of the brands has 2 grams of carbs per cup, but I believe the number, and my endocrinologist, Stuart Wienerman, if you know him, I also, osteoporosis issues related to illness 16 years ago.
Is he good?
He's amazing if he's on your insurance. If he's not, he's expensive.
Okay. Wiederman?
But
Got it.
Wienerman, you could message me.
Wienerman.
I'll send you he's a part of Northwell Health, I believe. But he actually, when I showed him the label, the cashew milk, non-dairy, has better calcium than regular cow's milk.
Wow.
And also, Joni, go Google search high calcium vegetables. Some of those are your leafy greens. You like salad, go have some raw spinach. Google your.
But my gastroenterologist told me not to eat that because I have stomach issues.
We should talk. If it's reflux, we should talk.
It's more than that.
Okay, then, I can try to help you through that. And also the other thing is small amounts throughout the day. Your body can only absorb about 500 milligrams of calcium at a pop. So for everybody who's taken those pills that have like 1,000 or 1,200 milligrams of calcium.
Miriam, what about rice drink or rice milk? How does that compare?
I haven't looked at it lately, but it could be I really haven't looked at it lately because it was never enough nutrition for me. I seem to believe, and I could look at that with you if you want. I'll happily do that.
Is
I'm not sure who
cashew
asked.
milk better than all the others, you think?
I think it tastes much better. I think it tastes much creamier. I think it has a better flavor. The almond milk isn't bad. I think the cashew is by far the best.
Okay, great.
That's my preference, and I'm also used to it, and I've also been using it for a while.
Right. Great
So
tip.
yeah. All right. Again, reach out. I give a lot of information. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Just about every photograph that is coming in your PowerPoint has been in my Instagram and Facebook stories at some point. Very few were created just for the PowerPoint. I wrote it up for the PowerPoint, but I'm going to continue my journey. Thank you for being flexible with me and allowing me to be consistent with keeping my word. So.
Thank you,
so
Miriam.
much, Miriam.
This was really fabulous. What a treat for us. You were
Amazing.
literally a treat for
Yes.
us. Thank you.
This is
Thank
great.
you.
You got it.
It was
And you can
awesome.
check out my stories later to hear.
Yes,
the
I want to see
unique name that
about
my
the
new
baby's
grandson
name.
has.
I want to see that. Mazel tov again.
Thank
Before
you.
we
Thank
go,
you.